if my wife just died, I would 100 pray for a resurrection. I try and make my bargain, right? But asterisk, it's not going to happen. So, I think it's
I mean, it could.
Why pray? Why pray then? Why pray?
Okay,
why pray?
Come on.
Why pray? Yeah. You'd 100% do it.
Listen.
You'd 100% do it, but then you believe that but it wouldn't happen.
No. Look. Go ahead.
And that's our... What the fuck?
Stop interrupting
me.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. And that's our song. Thank you, Steven. We're back with our favorite people on the spectrum. All here to talk about this movie, Ordet, 1955, directed by Carl Theodor Dreyer. It was originally, I think, based on a play, first performed in 1932. Not reading the Wikipedia page. And then now we're all here. Now we all watched it. We all talked about it, or we're going to talk about it. And hopefully we've all been re-upped on our God pill, on our Christ pill, on our faith pill. We're all going to pour a cup of coffee. We're all going to talk over some coffee.
Listen, audience member. If you have ever gotten a Starbucks coffee and went, that's the spot. Fuck you. Starbucks fucking sucks. I got a Starbucks coffee this morning. I just want to quickly say it's literally dog shit, and I'm feeling so affirmed in my whole coffee arc. Every time I go to Starbucks or any of these other big places, they actually don't know how to make a decent cup of coffee. It's actually gross. That's all I've got.
I agree. It's usually very... It's very current. Yeah, we're with John, Jacob, and Troy.
And John, Jacob, Jingleheimer Schmidt. No. I'm also
Brody.
juiced. I'm juiced on this movie. I post in the Discord. Hey guys, I've got a highly rare, epic 1080p bitrate rip of this movie because I own the Blu-ray and I have my own ripper. And they all make fun of me. They all post Soy Jack, and they all do all this stuff. And then Brody's like, I've got the same thing and it's better, but then his is actually half the size. So I point that out, and he says, "Oh, what do you want to watch, the movie or the bitrate?" Sorry, my file format is way better and more efficient than yours because presumably he has MP4. Then and by the way, every time I post, I say, "Reach out to me if you want the file." Reach out to me now because I don't want to do it the night before. Anyway, Elsmore, night before today, he says, "Oh, can I get the file? Can you send me the file?" Brody's file doesn't even work because MP4s can't store subtitle files inside them like MKVs can. And
I just want
that was it. I was just like giga-vindicated.
I would
Then what did I download?
I have mine's an MKV file. And it has subtitles. That's how I watch it.
So Elsmore is just an idiot who doesn't know how to look at subtitles?
Correct. Because John and I both watch it on the same file. I downloaded the file. I didn't download it. The movie fell off the back of a truck.
Yes.
And then I grabbed it.
The file did. John first.
All right, guys. Opening thoughts. Look, I'm a big Dreyer head, even though I haven't even seen. I've only seen Passion of Joan of Arc, but I watched it and I watched it again the next day, and then I bought the Criterion. So
nice.
Big fan of Dreyer in general. Even though that's all I've seen except for this movie, just barely. Big Dreyer head. But yeah, anyways, I've been wanting to watch this movie forever, and I was pretty psyched on getting some like intense, spiritual art. This movie delivered. Yeah, I liked it a ton. I cried multiple times. Just very moved in general. Excited to talk about it. Excited to hear the apparently insane take that's going to totally own me, according to Detroit.
Just you wait.
He's gonna be like, never mind.
I'm gonna make John leave the pod.
Dude, if you're mean, I will. I'm not joking.
I'm not gonna be mean.
Okay.
If you
Oh my gosh, dude, you better. I'm concerned.
If you're mean, I will. No,
Yeah,
I
I'm
want
saying
to
it.
be mean.
Yeah. You were gonna be mean.
No, I
you're
wasn't.
not.
I was never gonna be mean.
Okay.
I would never
Anyways.
leave the pod.
Okay, I would if you were mean. But yeah, love the movie. So good. I don't know, whatever. We'll start talking about it, but I really like this movie a whole lot.
I'm a recent Dreyer convert. I have converted to Dreyerism. Dreyer is now my favorite director. Much like John, I also have a lot of knowledge, not about Dreyer, but about Kierkegaard. I have read the Wikipedia page,
I did not.
and then I have read the Wikipedia page, and I've also skimmed the Wikipedia page for Kierkegaard. So I'm pretty sure I'm well equipped to talk about this film. I have re-upped on my faith pill. I love
Your
Christ.
faith prescription.
Yeah, my faith prescription, as we do need to do from time to time. This is in stark contrast to our loyal listeners who may have listened to the last pod, which was Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think this is like as opposite of a movie that you could make. And
It's good instead of bad.
Well,
It's good instead of bad.
It's Christ instead of Satan.
But look, I'm not some like soy jack lover of movies. Okay, I've got some hard hitting takes with this one. This one doesn't escape my criticisms. Okay.
Wrath.
Yeah, my wrath. Because all movies, of course, would be better if I made them. Okay.
True, actually.
Go ahead. That's it.
All right, Ordet. I've been wanting to do this movie on the pod for a while. I watched it for the first time maybe like a year ago, and it was instantly extremely impactful. I also, was very moved. And yeah, it's just a big, fat faith horse pill, really. And it really gets to the heart of the matter. And at no more topical a time than the Easter season that is upon us. Tomorrow is Easter, where Christ will be risen from the dead. And there's some raising of the dead happening in this movie, allegedly, right?
It happened.
Yeah, I'm just playing, but yeah, I'm just super stoked to be talking about it and passing it on to Troy.
Okay, look, you're all Dreyer pilled, but of course you need washer and dryer. This is
Boo.
terrible. You should just cut that.
Boo.
Anyway, okay, so yeah, movie rocks. Movie is old as hell. Okay, it's tough. Look. The movie's got rounded corners. I can't believe anyone ever did that. Why would they do that? Unless John has some insight. It is stupid. Why would they do that? You know what I'm talking about?
All screens have rounded corners.
You have to shoot with the camera. The camera makes it so it has rounded corners.
Doubt it.
That's the camera you shoot. What do you mean you doubt it?
Why no, why well okay, yeah, maybe why would they make that? It seems like you have to go out of your way to round the corners.
No.
I didn't like the rounded corners, made it feel artificial. But
artificial?
So
what does that mean?
No, it's what?
What is too weird for you?
No. This is
faking. This is like
they're faking it.
They're faking it, bro. This is it's like 16 millimeter.
They're just trying to make it look like an old film.
They're trying to make it look like an old film.
Yeah, this is 2004, right? So, no, that's just a little nitpicky thing, but I thought it was interesting. Anyway, movie obviously rules, kind of. it is very based. It is tough having seen The Sacrifice already 100 times, because it's way better. But
Whoa.
Why do they have to be
That's
compared?
false.
what
Like,
they're obviously in the exact same vein of thinking. But no, this movie is cool. I think is very interesting in terms of like how old it is and the way things have changed. Like it's way more a play than it is a film in my mind, right? Like this is like a sort of obvious tripe point, but it really doesn't, in my mind, utilize the medium in any particularly interesting or well done way, other than it just is well done. It's very what's the word? Like ascetic? Ascetic? But you wouldn't say it's very ascetic, would you?
Yeah, you could say that.
Oh, anyway, it's very ascetic medium-wise, but right. But then the haymaker, as Brody's put, the haymaker of a plot hits you. Great story. The performances are like pretty cool. My John takedown is just that John basically can't be trusted with this film because he likes it so much because his dad plays the dad in the movie.
Oh,
and no one knew this, but I know I can see this through John. I'm watching the movie, and it's tough not to rip John's eyes out of his sockets and put them in my own, and realize that he is seeing his dad the entire time. So obviously,
I never would have made that connection. That's fine.
You totally did. You were like, "Oh my God, that's my dad."
Subconsciously.
No, not at all.
Not only does he look just like him, but he's kind of, So.
What?
Anyway,
he's
kind of,
this movie,
Listen, this movie's cool. I'm very interested in discussing, I don't know much of the film we're going to discuss versus the ideas, but I agree. It really gets off. It's kind of another Diary of the Country Priest, where like it exceeds expectations a lot. Like I think I was a little surprised by how well it would get to a very interesting point. A point that I have underappreciated and certainly not seen in films.
What's the point?
Miracles.
All right.
Like faith and the relationship to miracles, but I think that the ending is borderline totally corrupt.
No, that's wrong. Let's save the ending for the middle.
Okay.
I first want to just talk about how, some of the maybe technical aspects of this film.
Oh, and I did cry, just saying.
What?
I need to disclaimer, I cried twice.
Oh, that's based.
Wait, you guys are crying?
What's the cry count?
I'm at 0.
For me,
1.
I'm at 2.
I don't know, several times. It was kind of
Brody's
like,
gonna lose this.
I feel like you cry. I feel like I cry and then it just kind of stays like right on the edge for a while, and every once in a while something happens and it just hits. Dude, near the end, bro, just with what's his name? Mikael. We're gonna mispronounce all their names. We're gonna pronounce them how
Not
they're
me.
read.
I've been learning Swedish, even though I know this is Danish.
Okay, Mikael.
Same.
Dude, yeah, he was just.
Jag talar svenska.
With his, yeah.
Unlike John,
Yeah,
I was
it's
not
crying a lot.
edging during this movie, but
Oh my gosh.
I did cry twice.
Okay, well, anyway, clearly this film is blocked like a play, and everyone's kind of play acting, Like,
yeah.
Where, the father, in one of the first scenes, he sits staring like this for like 30 seconds.
You mean
He's
every
like-
character throughout the film?
There was a
time?
few
That's-
scenes.
Yeah, they like don't make eye contact.
The
There's a
daughter's
few-
the worst.
There's a few scenes there where I was like, it almost looked like they were looking at the camera.
Yeah. Or like cue
and then-
cards or something.
Yeah, and then I realized that like what they're probably used to is looking up upon the stage to the audience.
I think this is wrong. This is assuming that the actors are just like doing something and not doing something they're directed to do.
Okay,
I feel
the
like where
director
they're
is used to
looking is-
directing for a play. What do you?
Well,
Damn, he got you there.
whatever. I mean, they're not like looking. I don't
Dude,
know. I don't
be
think
nice,
they're,
Brody.
like,
He might leave the
looking
pod.
at an audience. Like, I don't think they're like looking at an audience. Like, I mean, like the fact that they basically like no one makes eye contact the entire film.
Yeah.
You know, like literally, like they're
Yeah.
literally all talking to each other, like looking away from each other the whole time. And I feel like this is like
And that makes it more
so like
keen.
where maybe where they're like dramatically staged towards the camera, but I don't feel like I mean I feel like everything is still staged for the camera, like more so than it would be. It's more so than like it would be staged for an audience and then they're filming it.
Yeah, it's definitely camera aware. I mean, there is some truly groundbreaking dolly pan shots.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, they're
ahead of their
right.
time.
They're all super ahead of the time, dude. They're actually we'll get back to that ahead of the time, but
It's
they
the same cinematography.
yeah.
Dude, that scene with the
They're-
flying monkeys.
as
was
what?
crazy. That scene with the flying monkeys.
What'd you say, John?
I said it's the same cinematographer as Europa.
Same
Trier.
cinematographer as iRobot.
Europa.
Anyway,
By Trier.
wait, is it actually?
Yes.
That's
Europa
insane.
was his last film.
That's crazy.
I just read it. I sent a link. I sent the link after you saying the thing about how it's not a film, how it's just a play.
Well, okay, anyway, so the
I-
character's always looking off. I mean, I don't think it's like an accident, but I mean, it's definitely exactly the way a play is acted. Yeah, so that kind of stunk a little bit, honestly. Even though it's like, well, it gives it a different flavor. It gives it its whole thing. But it is tough. You're always watching a play, and we can get it. We don't have to get into the nitty gritty. But I'm not a big play head.
So bad. You can't be a Bergman fan and like
No,
not be a
Bergman
theater guy.
transcends.
Well, I know, but what Bergman? What? No, this is just stupid.
End of
you're
story.
Like, you're like,
QED.
no, dude, theater's lame, bro, and like Bergman can like it, but like he's like bigger than theater though, so it's cool.
No. Theater is epic. Film is epicer. I'm epicurious about how Bergman would have made this film.
The exact same way.
The exact same way.
No. I mean, he
Wait,
did
so
make.
you
I mean,
think-
he made
you
Cries
do
and Whispers.
think you do think that there is something like fundamentally lacking or could have been done better about the way that this is shot?
No.
Yes,
It-
you are.
No.
What are you
I'm
saying?
You're being
No, it'd be
intellectually
different.
dishonest.
I'm not being intelligent.
You're-
Guys, this is good
You're being
faith.
Christologically dishonest.
No, I'm just saying that no, it would be different, and I like the way it is. I'm just pointing out what I'm pointing out.
Look, I just want it to be known that I have. I mean, after seeing Passion of Joan of Arc, who's seen it? Have you guys seen it?
Not yet.
Okay, Dreyer. I don't think the medium is being underutilized. I think it is being very particularly chosen to not be utilized in depending on the situation, because Passion of Joan of Arc is like 100% a film. It is like it's like in respect like with regards to like, you know, like Bresson's like idea
Yeah.
about, you know, like films are just whatever, people just make plays and shoot them. Like I think Dreyer is well, like especially with Passion of Joan of Arc, is well within the camp of like actually utilizing the medium as its own medium, and that if this is a play, it's like a stylistic choice which is then broken for, like, for example, like the complete lack of close-ups makes it so when there is a close-up, it's like insane. It's like this, it's not just oh, now we get to see their face closer. It's like a formal break of the like aesthetic expectation that's been set up.
Mhm.
So that like when you have the shot at the end, you know, like or like the shot at the end, or just any of the close-ups, which are just so few, are like they're like made to be this much more powerful because it's like the whole form is like withheld. So I don't know. I just want to say I'm giving more faith to Dreyer and his use of the medium, and it's not. I don't think it's dated. I think it's
Yeah,
I think it's on
No,
purpose.
this is the same thing as oh fuck, what was it called?
I will not be
Nope.
aligned as anti this.
That American movie we watched. What was it called?
American
12
Hustle.
F for fake.
12 Angry Knuckles.
12 Angry
What was
Men.
Angry Men.
No,
We
no,
didn't
no,
watch
no, no.
that.
brother love and brother hate.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
We mentioned it already.
These
No.
were the same
I thought we did.
criticisms levied
Night
against
of the
that
Hunter.
film.
yeah,
Night of the Hunter.
No, these are not the same criticisms. Also, I'm with John. One hundo. That's it.
Okay.
All right.
Can we talk about Johannes?
We need a 10-hour pod on Sacrifice versus Ordet because they are doing the same thing formally as well, but Sacrifice fucking hits it out of the park.
Okay, guys.
Is Johannes Jesus Christ?
Is Johannes
Obviously.
Jesus Christ? He's obviously Jesus Christ. Okay.
I wish I
Okay,
had.
he's
See,
the
that's what I was
next
saying. If I
question.
hadn't seen Sacrifice before, I would have been able to better not believe it. But as soon as he comes on and says, "I'm Jesus," I'm like, "Holy shit, our Christ and Savior."
It's too bad. It's too bad.
Okay, but he's not Jesus. That's the whole point of the movie.
No,
Hold
no,
on.
he is. He's channeling.
No, the whole point of the movie is that he's not Jesus.
Explain.
Yeah, go ahead.
Give the whole spiel.
Tell us the whole point of the movie.
Can I
So
guess?
the whole point of the movie
Is that Johannes is not Jesus?
No. Okay, so right, he's going around saying he's Jesus, and everyone's just like, "Oh, that's appalling! Like, I can't believe you'd say that."
Yeah.
Right?
You're great. You play too much.
Schizo.
And Johannes is all like, "Everyone believes in the dead Christ, but not the living Christ."
Mm-hmm.
Right?
True.
And so, and that's pertinent because we're talking about miracles. We're talking about Christ working in the world. Okay.
Yes.
And everyone is Johannes talks to the parson, the guy who kind of looks like a cross between Val Kilmer and Ricky Gervais.
Who?
And
The preacher?
yeah,
Okay.
and you know,
He does.
and Ricky Gervais is all like, miracles can't happen anymore.
Yeah.
I'm an atheist.
True.
Anyway, but they're talking like, oh, miracles can't happen anymore. That's just, special circumstances, right?
Yeah, blowing the fuck
And-
out.
And then, and Johannes is all like, nope, I'm a bricklayer, but nobody wants to live in my houses. Nobody has any faith.
Dude, that line
Yeah.
is so good.
Yeah,
Nietzsche
that was
blowing the
that was
fuck out.
pretty
That is
sick.
so crazy.
Yeah, I
Got
just
me
wanted to be the
emotional.
first one to mention them, so my points increase on who's the most.
Yeah, you haven't
Yeah,
made
the
a single
podcast.
point at all. You're just observing good parts of the film.
No, not points.
It's like
He's
you're
like, no, we
You're
don't.
name dropping.
we all have, like-
right now. I'm
Okay,
synthesizing.
We don't
Okay,
have like
keep going.
special.
Okay,
bars.
no, sorry. No, he's laying the groundwork.
You laying the
Continue.
Like Tony Hawk.
Continue.
Right, and in the
He's
final,
building the jump.
Yeah.
So when I first watched this film, right, in the final scene where Johannes is getting ready to raise Inger, and the frickin' girls there, there's like this tension there because you're just like, oh my god, is it gonna happen? Is it not gonna happen? Like, which side are we taking? Peter's side, or are we taking Morton's side in this?
Who's Peter?
What the tailor?
Oh, yeah.
Are we taking the solemn Christianity side, or like the happy Christianity side? Like, can miracles happen? Can they not? Like, what's going on here? Because I think the film, it would be pretty impactful either way. Like, if Inger didn't end up getting raised versus if she did, I feel like it would have like those are just, it doesn't really the whole point is to have this sort of dialogue about miracles, right? So I don't think the result is like super important, because in the moment you're wondering like which side the film is going to take. And but
Wait.
anyway,
Wait, quick thing.
Yeah.
Was anyone feeling this? Like, didn't know if, like, I felt certain that Ingrid would get risen.
No, I
So
literally I thought it could go either way. I thought it was certain for a while, and the deeper it got into the just funeral, I thought it was literally, I thought there's going to be some kind of like, I thought it could go either way, and I sincerely thought like Johannes is just maybe just gone and not going to come back, and Mikkel is just going to give some kind of like monologue. Like, I thought maybe he was going to have some kind of faith restoration, not due to a miracle, you know, and that like she was just going to die. Johannes wasn't going to come back, and it was just going to be kind of like a tragedy, but then he was going to like find faith or something like this. Like that's kind of what I thought. Or that maybe it was going to be like he'd give like some kind of monologue, some kind of like doomer like monologue of some kind that's like, and it'd be something like the consequences of it's, and then it would be this whole thing of like, what if they did believe, you know, what if they did believe Johannes, and you like don't ever know if it would have or wouldn't have or something like that. So I don't. So yeah, I sincerely had no idea. I sincerely like it was totally in the air for whether it would or wouldn't, and that was like.
Well, my point is that it almost doesn't matter, like which.
No, it matters a ton. I disagree with this point, but I want you to continue with your.
But I'm saying, okay, what I mean is that the film sets up kind of justifications for both result, right? Is like you have the two camps in the movie. You have the Inger, Johannes, Peter axis, and you have the Morton, Mikkel, preacher axis. And
you also have the doctor axis Loki.
Well, the doctor is, you know, not a
he's the right one.
He's of a different persuasion, if you know what I mean.
Well, seems straight to me.
Hold on, the doctor actually. Well,
you have the two axes fighting during the whole movie, and they're each, you know, offering up their arguments as to why
the doctor's the signal.
Christ is alive or Christ is dead. Can miracles happen? Can miracles not happen? And so that's what I mean when I say either result could happen, is because the framework has already been laid for either result.
Disagree.
You know.
So okay, so when there was a time for quite a while where I thought it was fucking over, right? I was taking atheist pills, you know. I was like, holy smokes, like what's with all this faith business? She's fucking dead. This is terrible, right? I'm not kidding.
Sounds awesome.
I'm not kidding.
That's so good with that.
This sounds like you watched this movie.
I did watch this movie. Okay, and so I was feeling real fucking bad. And then especially when at first when he wandered into the room, you know, when she first died, and he had that really like impotent moment where he just, you know, he's always looked kind of crazy. But the moment I saw him wandering around, puttering around, I was like, it's too bad they haven't invented the word based yet, because that's what this guy is. So
Wait, Johannes?
Yeah, Johannes. So I'm
that is what Ordet references.
Yeah, the word is based.
The word is based.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So
when he's like, "Give me the word," he's really trying to reach into he's trying to speed up the
He's trying to be ahead of his time.
process of history to arrive at the word based.
So
he's like.
But then he had that really impotent moment where he wandered into the room, and I don't remember what he said, but it was like something kind of schizo, and he just like fell down.
He said, "I'm returning." He's like, you know, "I'm the son of God, and I'm returning to my Father."
Yes, right. And then he fell down, and then they're like, Christ, like, just get him out of here. You know, I wish he died too. You know,
Christ
yeah.
points at him. Christ, get him out of here.
And then he goes, and then he bounces. He bounces, and then I was like, it's over for her. You know, like everyone knows that you only have a limited time frame in which somebody's able to be resurrected. Okay. The time has clearly passed. There's probably been like 4 days.
Yeah, take a
right?
5-second rule.
Yeah, so it's a 3-day rule. So I was pissed, and I kind of didn't really know where this was heading. But when that child rolled up with her sort of naive faith, true faith, none of these other people have true faith. That's when my faith got reestablished, because I saw a miracle happen. And that's where I'm leading into my point, which is I disagree with Jacob, because I don't think that it would have mattered. If I didn't see a miracle happen, I don't think I would have felt the same way. I wouldn't have been faith-pilled. I wouldn't have been Christ-pilled, okay? I had to watch the faith happen. Watch the miracle happen. Now...
You did have to watch the faith happen too.
I had to watch the faith happen. But,
in order for the miracle to happen.
But that makes me think, I'm like, what? Do I have to get a miracle brute forced at me for me to have faith? You know? Is this really what it takes? That's not very that's that story that Kierkegaard likes to talk about.
Look,
where he kills his son.
Troy's gonna come in and be like, so true, this is why it's corrupt, but this is actually Jacob's point.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
I think it is.
Okay. Well, okay. I don't know if I should go off or if Jacob wants to. Jacob, have you made your ultimate point?
No.
Okay. Well, you're so wrong anyway, but we'll get there. Okay. First,
Jacob's okay. I believe that there's something valid to your point.
Undeniably, we will spend 2 hours arguing just in the end to be like, oh yeah, so that's what I've been saying. We didn't even disagree.
That's what I'm saying. Is that Jacob literally? Never mind. Whatever. Keep going.
We're gonna align, but one. This is why it's so sad to know something about a film beforehand. I know that Ordet has been giga influential to like Tarkovsky and all these other fools. So like, there's never a doubt in my mind. Like as soon as Johansson says I'm Christ, I know he is. As soon as Johansson says he's gonna do a miracle, I know he will. As soon as so like I know she'll be resurrected, which is pretty sad. Now this doesn't actually inhibit me from being a good viewer and engaging in empathy and entering into the mindset of these characters, which will make me cry and is what made me cry. But just a little sad note of like actually knowing what's going to happen.
I don't think you knew.
I
think
totally
you just thought you knew, and then it happened to be the case. Because I think the film totally could have gone the other direction and still been...
No, wrong. That's my second point. Well, first, what are we going to get into? Epistemology? I knew what was going to happen. Of course, I didn't know what was going to happen, just like I don't know the mind of God, but I know the mind of God. So,
whoa.
Anyway, hold on, blasphemy check. Okay, so, I'm just kidding. I did like, there's a phrase in the movie that's akin to who can know the mind of God. It was something about prayers, like who can know, he was like, my prayers haven't answered. The phrase she used was good.
Inger is talking to the dad, and she says something about how like the reason you should still continue to pray.
Well, I know, but I'm saying, what was the phrase? It was something like who can know the things, or who I don't know, something like who can know the mind of God, but it was phrased differently about prayer, and I thought it was cool. Anyway, the movie could not have ended without a miracle, but the fact that it has a miracle is also corrupt, as Brody points out. I mean, it's literally temptation of Christ moment. So like, I think, if we go big time benefit of the doubt, I think there's a huge psyop going on with the audience. Like, because the audience witnesses a miracle, and it is very faith affirming, and that is corrupted. That is corrupt. We should be the child, obviously. But like, are we supposed to feel good about all these people? Like the dads are like, oh my gosh, a miracle, God is good. We worship the same God, hug, And like, all that's happened there is temptation of Christ succumbed. Like, you know what I mean? That's not even real faith.
Wait, can you explain how this is any different from sacrifice?
That's the point. This movie is sacrifice. They're the same movie, but sacrifice is better.
Wait. If they're the same, so the sacrifice is corrupt then, and it's the same thing. Then
no, because saying. No one in the
so that's
go ahead.
So that's what I'm.
Yeah, it's no, because sacrifice. No one arrives at a position of faith other than the person who exerted their faith and had their prayers come true. But like, if you haven't seen the sacrifice, rewind and skip this part.
Are you saying the problem is that there are people who arrive at a position of faith after seeing the miracle?
That's not a problem. The only problem is if we think that that's good, or if we are supposed to feel good about that, or if we think that's anything good. I think it's fine if a miracle takes place and some peripheral characters are like, whoa, now I'm faith-pilled. But it's not a bad thing. It's just a thing that happens, but we don't want to be aligned with the audience, or we don't want to be aligned with those people, and we should probably see that faith as fundamentally
we
like
want to be
flawed.
Johannes and the child. I mean,
we want to be the child.
Johannes and the child are the only people who have true faith.
Yes.
Or whatever. Maybe Johannes knows more.
Well, yeah, I think we want to align with the child. The other people are basically corrupt. I think Johannes knows this.
I mean, I don't think they're not.
They're not corrupt, but their faith is. Their faith is illegitimate. Don't make me say temptation of Christ again.
Their faith is illegitimate from square one.
Yeah.
Like there's Mikhail, who never had faith, or is a like.
Hold on, the doctor though is pretty based actually.
So like there's Mikkel, who is basically just done with the whole shit. He's over it. He's like, I don't got faith. I don't fucking know any of this shit. Like, fuck it, whatever. Right? And then we have the two other people who are presupposed faithists, but in particular, the main father, the not Taylor guy, not Peter. Peter's antithesis.
Morton, daddy.
He was, in my opinion at least, opinion alert. The far less of a faith guy, while the Taylor kind of had a little bit more going on. I think he stood pretty firm with his beliefs, and then in this time, and then so at first when I was watching him, I'm like, oh, this guy's the real faith guy, right?
Peter.
Initially, Peter,
Pete,
Big Pete, Big P. I was like, when I was first watching him, like, he's the real faith guy. He's like, no, you're not marrying my daughter. Like, we're not part of the same thing. Like, you're whack, right? And then he was full of wrath. He had that epic line though, where he was like, I hope you go to hell. And he says, I wouldn't, because I'll block your entrance or something like that. I was like totally stealing that one.
No one will know what the fuck you're talking about. What's the line? He's like, go to hell, and he says, I wouldn't block your entrance. Like, he won't be there.
Yeah.
People are gonna be like, whatever, schizo.
Okay. Anyway, so but then he had that moment where he was like, I don't think I did the right thing there, right? And I was like, yeah. So maybe he is the real faith guy. I was kind of back and forth on that one. Anyway, point is, question for the audience. Comment down below. Is their faith legitimate? And tag yourself.
I just want to quickly align the dot. I think there's a real Sigma situation with like Morton and Peter are like, opposite sides of a coin. The doctor is the Sigma, although he says some cringe shit about, who do you think for this, me or the Lord and stuff, whatever. But he's the only of the spiritual quote unquote figures in the room. He's the only one who has a semblance of faith in Johansson. Like,
yes.
Right? The preacher is about to like, no, blasphemy. And the doctor's like, hold up. Like, let him cook, like, I'm cook. Interested. Something might happen. So doctor ends up being kind of cool, Sigma.
So back to the point is that Johannes is not Jesus.
Okay.
Why not?
Because he's not, okay?
You're telling me if I told you that I'm the second coming of Christ and then I resurrected your dead wife, you'd be like, you're not Jesus.
He literally comes into the room and is like, he's like no longer like impersonating Christ.
That is
yeah. He's not
Christ,
Jesus in the end.
He's just a person, and then he's like, you guys just have to have faith, etc.
He's not Jesus in the end, but he was earlier.
He's never Jesus. He's just acting as like a vessel, right? He's
channeling.
Right, he's filled with the Holy Spirit.
No, he's filled with Jesus.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Totally. You think he, the character, is pretending?
No, he's not pretending.
Okay, well, yeah, he's not literally Jesus Christ, but he is, and he is
genuine,
possessed in a positive sense by Christ.
I don't. No.
Whose words are they? Who's saying I am Jesus Christ? Who is the speaker of those words?
Johannes.
So he's pretending. He's lying.
Yeah.
No, he's not lying.
So he's Christ. Like, what are you talking about?
No, I think,
Oh.
Yeah, I think he was swept up in, some sort of a schizoid.
This whole movie is a, what is it?
Not,
what is it called? Mass hysteria.
But not in like a cringe, like psychiatrist way, but like, just being kind of like in this passionate state. and I think that it would dilute the meaning of the movie if we were to pretend like Johannes is Christ, right?
Okay, but he's
Because
certainly
it's like,
he's certainly,
then Christ is just he's right
well, he's
there.
certain
and,
he's certainly a representation of Christ,
Yeah, they
and then
intentionally-
in this way is in some ways inseparable from like being Christ as like a figure in the story, but he also has like prophetic ability, you know. He's like
Sure.
Yeah.
he
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, but
what are you guys talking about?
No,
This
no, but
isn't
it's
some
important.
schizoid channeling. He's predicting the future over and over again.
No.
He.
No. But it's important. It's important to distinguish between him being Christ and like him just kind of
Being a prophet.
like having these why am I forgetting this word?
I'd be fine.
He can be channeling. Listen, Christ is in all the characters, okay?
He's in me right now. Listen, I'm down. I'll hop on board with like he's a prophet with divine powers and connection. You know, I'll get on that. But
No, because
I'm confused. Sounds like you're talking about he's not.
Because you're signing up for a lot of stuff that you don't necessarily agree with if you say that he's literally Christ. All right, buddy?
He's not literally
All right, Bucko?
Christ, but he is literally
Me.
me, and he's literally a divine being on Earth, predicting the future over and over again. So, I think he has. I think he's got some divinity in him.
But it's not just, is like that's just divine revelation, right? Like
So you want to call
he
him a
doesn't-
prophet?
you don't have to be
You want to call him a
you don't
divine
have to be
prophet or no?
you don't have to be Christ to like have revelation.
I think you're fighting uphill. I don't want to get bogged on this point forever. I'm more interested to hear why you think it'd be such a problem to think that he is. But I think you're fighting an uphill battle when there's a character who knows the future, makes all these has all these, divine abilities, and says he is Jesus Christ.
Okay.
And I
so
also-
here's the deal.
I also want you to tack
Here's the
this
deal.
on to your I would also like you to explain why you think it wouldn't have mattered whether or not she gets resurrected.
Yeah, and after that, explain why you think Morton, or you said like one of the sides was like you see a connection between whether or not the resurrection were to happen or not as being aligned with Morton versus Peter,
No,
this
no,
better
no,
be
no.
good.
I was saying
or you're off.
what I was saying is that Morton represents the happy, positive Christianity, whatever, right?
Yeah, of course.
The movie says so.
Yeah.
And then Peter is like the solemn Christianity.
Yeah.
And so there are these two categories, and sorted into these two categories are the various characters, right?
Catholics versus good Christians.
Right, where you have like on Peter's side, you have like Mikkel, you have the pastor, you have these like more solemn figures, pessimistic figures, and then you have the optimistic characters, right? And they're kind of over the course of the movie, they're kind of like each dropping some bars about like their perspective, right, on like faith and stuff.
I think the priest is on Team Morton, but yeah, go ahead.
So returning back to the why would it matter if he's Jesus or not? I just think that like because the whole movie is about I don't know, your like personal faith and how that relates to miracles, it just seems like it would trivialize the miracle that occurs if it was just Jesus performing it, right? As opposed to like Johannes is / the child's faith sort of empowering and inviting some greater power to do this miracle, right?
I think we're all
Because
on the same page that Johannes is Johannes in the end. I think that he's channeling Christ before he leaves.
I think the wording you're using is like not. I don't know. We're just gonna talk about this forever about whether or not. Like I don't know how.
Well, I agree with you, Elsmore, that it's different if it's Johansson, right, asking for the power
Johannes.
mm-hmm.
versus Christ doing it. I'm with
Yeah.
you. I don't think anyone thinks that he's Christ in the end. I think we're on the same page.
I
He
think-
leaves
I think that so.
maybe
the
for 3
movie
days, comes back, says, "I'm not Christ. I'm Johansson."
The movie definitely wants you to think about whether or not he's literally Christ, right? Because for like the first 75% of the movie, they just kind of like they don't investigate that. They cast someone who looks kind of like what we have expect Jesus to look like, right?
He does look
With
really
the
good.
beard and the gaunt sort of look.
Awesome.
So like the movie wants you to be thinking about that, but I think ultimately, because of the end, it is telling you that like he was never Christ. It was just, faith, etc. Right? And he was just tapped into that energy. But like have him be Christ kind of it makes it sort of more shallow in my opinion. And then going to the what I said about I don't know if it would have mattered if like the ending was different. So like I agree that
Wait,
like having them.
Could I mention an important aspect of Johannes's transformation back into Johannes that I feel like is being neglected? He writes the scripture about being like ascending into heaven, and then he leaves and presumably in some way ascends into heaven, and then he comes back as Johannes. And like I don't know, we don't see what happens to him after he leaves, but I think whatever. I don't know if this actually bears any. I don't know if this actually bears any weight to the kind of like literal the conversation going on here about like the being like a representation of Christ versus Christ himself or something, but because it could just be like metaphorical in some way. It's like the spirit of Christ that is like influencing him, then like leaves him or something, and then I don't know after he's done his work. But anyway, sorry.
Christ.
That's not what I mentioned because I feel like that hadn't gotten brought up.
Post Christ
I've
resurrection
decided-
goes on a miracle spree.
I've decided I was making a maybe too niche of a point, and so I'll drop my charge
Whoa.
in the. I'm going to be dropping my charge
Podcast first.
For which?
for the Christ. He wasn't really Christ stuff.
Okay, dude, I'm dying to hear the
You're salivating.
yeah.
You're salvation.
I'm just salivating. I'm salvation.
Because I think
need to hear
the
that.
whole like I think this.
So
whole, like,
hold
was he
on.
actually Christ?
Let me just give my take so we can move on. All right.
Please.
Yeah. So no, I agree that like the miracle happening is the desired outcome in that like it makes me cry, it makes me feel good, it makes me want to go like outside and like look at the birds and like feel great about life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what everyone wants to happen, right? In the movie when you're watching it, that's what you want to happen. But what I mean is when I say that I don't think it would have mattered if the outcome were different is just that the movie is playing kind of coy or whatnot with like how it's trying to play off the message, right? Because you have, like I said, you have the conflict between the two camps of like, can miracles happen? Can they not happen? Right? And they each sort of like give some whatever reasoning or emotional shit to back that up. So I just think like if it would have turned out different, like when you're watching Johannes and the girl like trying to raise Inger, like if they would have not been successful, I think that could have also been impactful in some way, of like, because I don't think it would destroy the message of the film necessarily. Like I don't think that it would have like totally BTFO'd the possibility of miracles. I think it would have just been some other, some message about, like the weakness of people's faith or something. So that's what I mean. I don't mean that it literally would not have mattered. I just think that I think that it wouldn't have ruined the film necessarily.
I don't think it would have ruined it, but it
I
wouldn't
don't
have
think it would have
accomplished
ruined the
its
film, but it
goals.
would have been a very different film. Is I guess what my take would have been.
Super different valence.
And I would have come away with something very, very, very different. I mean, like, and it kind of makes sense, you know. Somebody give me a true or false rating on this one.
PolitiFact.
So Christianity's foundation is on the miracles of Jesus Christ.
False.
True.
Okay. So before Jacob tells me why that's false, let me give my reasoning.
Hold on,
Do you
tells you why it's
do
true.
you consider Christ's resurrection a miracle? I guess. you
Yeah,
would,
that's why I
right?
say
Of course,
yes.
yeah,
It's
well,
based
it
on the
100% is a
resurrection.
miracle. Yeah, it 100% is a miracle.
Well, I don't know.
And-
I've heard some reports. There's a scientific explanation for how he could have done it.
Yeah, historically.
like a Houdini kind of thing.
Yeah.
How did he escape those
Houdini.
shackles?
So how did he? You know,
Resurrection explained.
Jesus, resurrection explained. A new study shows.
Right. So that is like the distinguishing trait between Judaism and Christianity, right?
Well, there were miracles and.
Well, no, but in terms of Christ performing those miracles and him being the Messiah, is that the right word?
True. Massive difference
Right.
between miracle and an act of God.
Right. So it's like, and then so, I don't know, like, if the miracle didn't happen, right? Then this is like,
I'm walking away Jewish.
yeah, like like in a sense, yeah, you're like walking away Jewish, you know. It's like, yeah, that shit's a foregone time. That shit's different, you know. Like, we don't really get miracles anymore, and it's like, and then it's no wonder that we, you know, that effectively God is slowly dying, you know. Like, we have the Father, right? He's like totally into this whole God business, right? But then his children are gradually less so, and presumably if this miracle hadn't happened, then it would only continue to become less so.
Well, how about this, right? So, like, obviously, everyone wants the miracle to happen during the film, you know? And so, like, if it were to not happen, you would have just felt, like, so bad and, like, terrible that, like, these people, you know what I mean, didn't have the faith strong enough to raise Inger, you know what I mean? And, like, I think it would just be like the different side of the same coin. Like, either like you're super white pilled that, you know, their faith came through and they raised Inger, or you're super black pilled that like they didn't have faith or something about, you know, a miracle can't happen. But like, I think it's still it's still on the same, like, they're still in the same plane. Like, you're not. It wouldn't be a different movie. Like, if the miracle didn't happen, it wouldn't mean that Christianity's over.
Well, yeah,
because
it's about. I mean, I think what the miracle ultimately does is do what, you know, Troy first brought up about, like, showing, like, the other's faith being, like, illegitimate. It provides another dimension for understanding, like, the discussion of faith and what faith is, because they're like constant, you know, they're like the whole film, they're like the two older guys talking, like the two fathers, like talking, they're like talking about, like, well, my faith is blah 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 blah, and there's like always this kind of underlying thing of, like, they're referring to as their, like, whole religious practice as their faith, and then when it comes to any point where they're actually, like, supposed to exercise faith, they, like, don't have it or whatever.
Yeah.
And that, like, and so you have this kind of is developing, and I think that the miracle happening in spite of them not having faith in it, but because someone else has faith in it, and then their resulting faith or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I think what the miracle does is it just provides the kind of conclusion or something, or just like another step in, like, the because, you know, Inger doesn't get raised because they had faith, you know, because they just don't.
Yeah.
and like the fact that Inger, it's like very clear that Inger would not have been resurrected if, you know, the child, whatever, didn't believe Johannes.
Yeah.
Shouldn't I just say the point of this movie?
Okay.
Okay.
Why have you been holding it back,
Well,
man?
I wanted
Go
to
ahead.
give you guys a chance. Okay, so.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Obviously, the resurrection is essentially blasphemous. I don't know. I think the real play here is faith
Real play.
is generated in the audience via the resurrection in film. The true miracle, which isn't a true miracle to us, because, right, like, or miracles aren't, quote unquote, miracles aren't allowed to produce faith, right? Do we agree? This is breaking the rules?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, Christ would never perform miracles in front of the non-faithful
Yeah.
because of this, right? You can't, right? It's the temptations. But faith is produced in the audience to a fake miracle, but it's like it's a miracle in the film. It's not a true miracle to us because it's a film. So I think there's something here. I think there's something here about.
I was gonna say this
Right.
is Stalker.
Mm,
Yes. The girl at the end, she like actually is magic, you know?
this isn't Stalker.
And then no, we literally had this exact same conversation about it like being legitimate because it is a film. That it's like allowed to perform a miracle for the audience because it is a film.
Yeah.
And how like in Stalker, because it is a film, she
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
it's embodying it's like it's within the realm of film. She can exercise the proof of the magic that the guy has been talking about this whole time that we've been kind of proven isn't real or something.
Okay, yeah. In this way,
know?
it's sacrifice, it's Stalker, and it's made fun of in Breaking the Waves. But yeah, it's the
True,
magic.
but
right,
it's made
the miracle.
It's made fun of, but is also
kind of true and based.
successfully done. Anyways.
Right. It only. Well, I think if anything, Breaking the Waves.
I think Trier is like so like trying to make fun of, but is ultimately not actually like. I don't think he actually.
No,
is that,
for sure.
Like,
Well, he accomplishes it.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's-
it's Breaking the Waves does
I
the
think-
whole
I think
thing,
if he's-
and then without the magic, right? And
yeah.
then throws in Giga Magic at the end just to laugh at how he was able
I-
to accomplish the same thing without it.
But that's the thing is, I think if Trier's intention is sincere in this like I'm so tricky, I'm gonna trick you, the film ends up like transcending his intentions.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't
by-
think he
by
intends that.
achieving it.
I think he intends for
Yeah.
goodness. Anyway, I think the real miracle is the power of cinema. Unironically, I'm not joking. I think that's the real.
Yeah, I know. It's
funny.
just
Right? It's like-
funny because it's like everybody always comes back.
Well,
to
think
this.
like.
It's
Well,
That
think.
funny-
Well, no.
yeah.
Look.
That
Look.
funny, but it may be true.
Look. Movie made me cry, and no one else. I'm actually one step above you guys on the winning scale, because
why does it always have to
because whoever gives it the high score and whoever cries the most wins.
keep going?
Anyway, I'm getting married soon, so this movie's different for me. Anyway, but obviously, when your wife is dying in childbirth or whatever, some other tragedy, right? You're gonna fucking push the orderly. You're gonna be right as soon as she starts to flatline, right? You're gonna be shoving orderlies out of the way and stalking out nurses so you can quickly run to the closet, a janitor closet, throw yourself into it, and try and make a deal with God, wherein you'll do anything, right? I will do anything, please, etc. Now, in this movie, if they hadn't been resurrected, that's what's gonna happen to you. Is she's gonna flatline and be dead, and you're gonna be like, well, who can know the mind of God? So I think that's like the big difference is without the miracle in the film, that's just your real sad normal life. And like, it's so Johannes is so based when he's like, you know, how is it that everyone in this room is such men of faith, and yet no one has even thought to ask God to bring her back to life, you know? And I think I would do that if my wife just died. I would 100% pray for a resurrection. I try and make my bargain, right? But
Yeah.
asterisk, it's not going to happen. So, I think it's
I mean, it could. I mean, you do
why
not have
pray?
faith. You
Why
do
pray
not have
then?
faith.
Why pray?
Okay,
Why
whatever.
pray?
It's
Come
not
on.
gonna
Why
happen.
pray?
You are fake
You'd
as
100,
shit.
you'd 100%
You're
do
fake
it.
as
Listen,
shit.
You'd
listen,
100% do
listen.
it, but you believe that like, but it wouldn't happen.
No.
Like,
Look,
So why do it?
because I have faith.
Unironically.
Because I have faith.
Yeah,
Right?
alright,
One can have
alright,
faith.
Whatever.
And still, depict the expected outcome. Well, hold on. That's not whatever. Look, you know what I'm saying?
No, this is so corrupt.
No, it's not.
This
It's
is-
not
this
corrupt.
is-
No, the main point is if this resurrection doesn't look, we have to think about, because it's a good point, right? It is super important to think about what if this resurrection didn't happen. Why did the resurrection happen in the film? If it didn't happen, that would just be quote unquote real life. Look, I'm a man of faith. This film is based, but can we chill for a second and be like, yeah, that's what happens, And so to wish for a miracle is to like run up against, right, the insurmountable wall which faith is meant to get you over, of like, I want this so bad, I'll do anything, I'll blah blah blah, but you can't escape the fact that like it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm with it, because I'm gonna say, look, to get back to our boy Kierkegaard here.
Yeah, I don't know.
You truly. I mean, I think it's actually fair to say that you asterisk like it wouldn't happen or something now, because you're like currently not in a like temperamental position to even be in a place of true faith, because you have to be in a place of truly like needing it in order to exercise.
Yeah,
which is like that's like the Kierkegaard.
The Kierkegaardian thing.
Yeah,
this film is
being able to
anti-Kierkegaard.
accept the absurd. Being able to accept the absurd.
Yeah, yes, but I
don't know, bro.
It's not actually anti-Kierkegaard, but Kierkegaard would not be, I don't think, a proponent for like he's not even a miracle. He's not even a miracle head.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not.
Head.
Kierkegaard's not a
he's
miracle
not a
head.
miracle.
He's not a proponent
the
for
point,
any of that.
But it's still a film.
Exactly. That's my point.
No. But I'm saying. Yeah. But I'm saying all I'm saying is that the position that they're put inside of, like the point at which Kierkegaard says is like the point that you like, in which I can't remember what the right like actual wording is for all these things, like his terms or whatever, but it's like the point at which like you're basically in total crisis and there is essentially a 100% need for faith, is like the moment in which like you can like exercise true faith or whatever, because you have to. And like that this point is the point that all the people in the film are at, when Inger is dying, but then they are unable to, but then Johannes, he comes in and he says like, you guys didn't even think to ask like God to raise her, which is like, would be like, that would be an exercise of faith, is to like suddenly, this like desperate whatever belief that it could happen or something. But my point why I brought it up was because what I was saying is I was legitimizing what you just said about how you said that if your wife dies or whatever, but you're like, I'd pray, but like, it was asterisk, it wouldn't happen or something. That's because you literally can't be in that position until you're in that position, which is the Kierkegaardian thing. That's what I was saying.
My point is, if you saw me do that, you run into that closet, you know what I'm doing. You're not betting on her coming back to life. And the Kierkegaard take here is like, both the churches are wrong. The churches are bad and totally corrupt, especially all the going to hell stuff. Johansson is a base true man of faith.
Okay, his name is Johannes.
Johansson.
Like
sorry, I didn't know you were correcting
it's
me earlier.
Johannes.
Okay, Johannes.
Every time you said it, I said Johannes.
Johannes is exercising true based faith, TM, but for if Johannes, which I'm not saying he does, but if Johannes had an actual expectation of the resurrection occurring, this would not be in line with the Kierkegaard stuff. Just saying.
Well, wait, but it's not so much expectation so much as the belief that it could.
Yes, the belief that it could happen is Kierkegaardian.
Yeah, and I think that's what Johannes has. I mean, he seems he seems pretty sure that it's going to happen.
Well,
but,
yeah, he seems very, no, he
But
says I hope.
But
he
but I
says
think
I hope you give me the word.
Okay,
all
okay,
that
never
stuff,
mind
yeah.
then.
So
Yeah. So
yeah.
this movie is an anti-Kierkegaard. I think
Yeah,
I think it makes total sense that it references Kierkegaard and has him like that's what he's.
But the
studying,
world,
you know, like
if you think that like this is how the world works, would be not like the resurrection itself is an upending of the Kierkegaardian worldview. Like, and I think that that move is meant to really highlight the medium as being capable of miracles,
sure.
and generating in you faith in a way that doesn't violate the temptations. But
it also sorry,
nothing. But just that if someone watches this movie and is like, yeah, that is the world I live in, that's not Kierkegaardian. The Kierkegaardian world is where and Johansson
I'm with it.
does it, and she doesn't resurrect.
No, I mean no. The Kierkegaardian world is up until she's resurrected.
No.
Because
from the perspective of Johannes, yes, but the Kierkegaardian worldview doesn't hold that there are externalized things like this. Like if you living in a world where you think this is possible, yes, that's Kierkegaardian. Living in a world where you think
where you think you can expect it to happen, or what?
Yeah, or like a claim that not that it's possible, but that like the thing that's possible is the absurd. Like just the difference between the claims of yes, I think a resurrection is possible versus there is a God out there that can resurrect people. Are you with me?
So we all agree then.
You know what I'm saying? That's like that is the distinction.
I don't understand the distinction you're making. I also don't know if it's worth like hashing out all the way.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. Well, I'll just quickly say the distinction.
I am
again.
interested.
I mean, the distinction is just the difference between a claim about something out there versus what is possible to experience.
Okay. I think I'm with it. But I was gonna say to your point earlier with the talking about if this is like, you know, the miracle happening being this the like transcendent moment of the medium as well. It is formally too, like the shot of the points at which the film breaks the aesthetic expectation that it's set out formally, or the points where it does this are the points of highest highest emotion or like spiritual, like you know, something bigger is going on, so to speak. And in this moment, like this shot is extremely everybody's got to watch Passion of Joan of Arc. This face that she's making is like literally
what she's making.
Oh, okay. The face she's making at the very end when she's like, just Inger has just been resurrected. Troy, are you talking?
Mikhail is holding her. She's crying. It's close up. It's the final shot.
Yeah, it's the final shot. And so, but this shot
is it the same actress?
This goes back to what I was saying.
The
about,
look.
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, but you recognize
totally.
the look. I was literally when I watched this movie, I was literally just like, when this shot happened, I was like, how on earth does he get these two completely different women to like make this look that I like can't think of another movie where they look this insane. Like I literally, because Passion of Joan of Arc is literally just this for like an hour. Like, but the point is like that this is like an extreme. I mean, I don't know. It's not super self-referential like filmically, but it certainly is like one of the most like it's one of the few close-ups of the film and probably the closest the camera ever gets to a character, minus the like 360 shot of Johannes and the child, But that, I don't know. I think that this in some ways reflects what you're talking about the miracle being the kind of transcendent moment of the medium, where it also formally like reflects this, if you know what I mean.
The miracle of cinema.
So, what would have happened to the child's faith had she not been resurrected?
So true. It would have been challenged for
She-
sure.
So, like, I don't know. Back to this movie being corrupt.
Yes.
Is, and in this sense, I kind of hate using this comparison because this is like level 1 atheism, right? But I'm gonna run it up anyway, which is like you could only set out so many leprechaun traps, and you swear to God that this year you're gonna catch one of those motherfuckers. This is the perfect trap. And you and all your friends and everybody else that you know can only come up dry so many times before you think to
Dryer.
yourself. What?
You can only come up drier
No,
so
keep
many
talking.
times.
Yeah,
Keep
you can.
No, stop.
only come up drier so many times before you think to yourself, I'm not really too sure about this whole leprechaun business, right? And then you sort of come around, and you enter to your early 20s, and you read.
You discover Sam Harris.
And you discover you discover Sam Harris at 16, right?
Oh, okay.
You discover Jordan Peterson at 18, and then you discover like Wikipedia articles about like mythology.
Then you discover Wikipedia. Right.
and then you sort of drop
Then
all
you
that.
find the internet.
And then-
After you find Jordan Peterson, you discover the internet.
You find your penis
And then-
in his
and-
home, unprepared for your attack.
and then you sort of you then discover Wikipedia articles in your early 20s, reading about like the sort of origin of myth and stuff like this. And then you
Zoroastrianism. What is it?
yeah, and then but then
Wait,
you
wait,
go
are you
and
talking
First
about
religion.
are you talking about like
Egyptian.
okay.
and
Yeah.
anyhow, so you go and you read
It's the
about
mushrooms, bro.
you read about fucking St. Peter on a Wikipedia page, right? And then how he how he let out the snakes and all this sort of
Better be
shit.
going somewhere.
What?
Where is this going? This
So-
is-
Hold
this
on,
is-
wait.
Like so so the point is that you go through this process, right? You have this extreme childlike naivety, right? Where you 100% believe in leprechauns.
Mm-hmm.
That shit is real.
Yeah.
Okay, it isn't. And then you go and you fucking turn to a teenager and you're like, that shit is actually fake as shit. And then you become an adult and you're like, well, it's real, but like in kind of a different way,
Right.
right?
Yeah, you start playing word games.
Yeah, you go and you play word games, right? You fucking
Words with friends.
You fucking you play those. You play your little word games. You're like, well, it's sort of real, but like in a different kind of way, and it's like, but it's real in not the way that you think real means. But the thing is you never actually believe that shit. Like up until like the only time you ever believed that shit really, I think, is when you were a kid. Okay, little people in green suits. That shit existed.
Yeah, that's
Okay?
exactly
I'd
the
like to
position of the
offer-
people in the film.
And I know, but then the thing is that now she saw an actual resurrection.
Yeah, she's fucked.
Right? I'm not saying I am like all those other adults where I'm like, I have faith and blah, 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 right? But I'm like, I'm a faker, right? And then...
Yeah, until your wife is dying and then you pray that she'll be resurrected.
Except for the guy in the movie whose wife was dying and didn't pray for her.
No,
to be resurrected.
dude, because...
I'm just kidding. Keep going, sorry.
Because even after she died, they were all still fakers. Their
Yeah.
faith didn't
Yeah.
become real until they actually saw the leprechaun.
Yes.
I mean, they're
Can
sorry,
I
Jacob.
can I offer a counterpoint?
Well, he's right, but you can try.
Well, I just want to say I don't think children have the capacity to know what's real. Right? Children do not understand fact from fiction. And I think that's the point that's why, you don't know it's real as a kid, okay? Like, all this leprechaun talk, I think kids don't actually think that there are real leprechauns because they don't even know what it means for something to be real, okay? That's my first point.
All right, fuck
Okay.
bro,
So-
fuck Brody.
so-
I'm
my
with Jacob.
second point. My second point is that all this talk about, the real miracle is the miracle of cinema, and that's why the resurrection had to happen, was to offer up this faux miracle for us viewers to reignite our based and trad faith. I think that the miracle of cinema has already occurred before the resurrection happens, okay?
This is
Because you already feel it welling up inside of you, the desire to believe.
The wings of
okay?
desire.
And whether or not the resurrection happens does not affect the fact that you have had this sort of you've had this
Desire for belief.
you've had this prompted in you, you've had this encouraged or whatever throughout the film, right? And even if Inger doesn't get resurrected at the end, you have been primed to want it to be true and to seek out faith, etc. And that's maybe another something to tack on to my argument about the conclusion.
Yeah, it's the last podcast all over again.
So so I would say
What?
so when you say like a child doesn't really know what it means for like things to be real, like this is what I mean, but like distinguishing between like real when you're a kid and then like real for us now, which is some like word game real, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then we read a few too many Wikipedia articles, right? We skimmed Kant once, and then now I got all these goofy ideas about like what real really means. But I don't know. Like that capturing of believing like all that shit when you're a kid is truly unmatched, except bringing it back to the miracle of cinema. Of course, it can be matched when watching a movie. Yeah, because you're because
okay,
in,
but I
in this
think-
world
okay.
things can happen.
I think it is important to like address that we're still. I don't actually know if it's fair to draw such a hard distinction between the world of film and the quote unquote like real world or something as being like anything but the exact same thing, and that like unless you see the film as being something that is reducible to the category of film and not as the category of I don't know, of like a categoryless thing. Like something like, I don't know, it cannot abide by different. If you're convinced by the film in some sense of the miracle of the film, like I don't actually think that there's like an ontological difference between the miracle happening in the film and the miracle happening in real life if you like find the miracle to be legitimate in some sense.
I'm so thankful for this. We're back at funny games, except it's not me saying what's real and what's not. But so true. I think this is so true. I think it's so true with what Brody was saying, where the film is maybe aligning us intentionally with the other half-hearted people. For us, or at least to watch the film and be like, well, it was a movie. I didn't actually just witness a true miracle. It was a movie, right?
Yeah.
Then you're a half-hearted person. You don't believe in the, epistemological realities of film. But I think it's a problem if you think that it's real, in which case temptations are being broken and your faith is being corrupted by the film, and so the film is evil. Not exactly, but something along those lines. And then with the kids, I don't know. We don't have to get all crazy Kierkegaard, right? But like huge distinction between like believe and faith. And like, I don't know. It's tough to think if the child even has real faith if we're going K-faith mode. Because like, it's true. I think the child might more believe than has faith, but I mean, the child is posited as being the only one with true faith. And then a quick shout out to just it. I do generally have I don't know. There's something so epic about children and their faith and beauty, but also like they aren't really contending with the world at all. Like,
well, yeah, they don't have because it can't be. They don't have the reason why like the faith of a child is powerful in the first place is because they don't have to their faith doesn't have to usurp or contradict some kind of ontological belief or like a belief about like the ontological reality of
it's pure, it's innocent.
Faith. Yeah, the faith can exist. It doesn't have to exist in spite of anything.
True.
Which is exactly why in some ways it isn't actually faith, but it's like some kind of impossible. It's some kind of impossible faith or something that's like because for the child's faith to actually then cause something that contradicts the like ontological plane that these people are resting inside. It's like it's to give legitimacy to the faith of the child, but I think in some regard it's like almost performative. Like this is like in some ways like this miracle is with respect. It's like an exemplar, not a. It's like you could see it as a like take it as like a biblical place to teach something, as to like like you should become like a child or something like this and have faith like a child. That like the child is not I don't think that the ultimate message is not that the child's faith is what enables the miracle. It is the childlike faith that enables the miracle. And it's like why this miracle is allowed to happen in the first place is because Christ is allowing it for it to happen to, prove some kind of point about like the kind of faith that is required in order to something, does that make sense?
No, that totally makes sense. I'm down for this idea that this flick is just another Bible verse. Just another one in the chamber.
John, do you think you witnessed a miracle?
Hell nah. No way you just asked that question. You fucking
I mean,
John started it. Which was so based
well,
in true.
I don't know. I'm like hesitant to answer the question. I mean, I would say like, I don't know. I mean, to some degree, it's like the degree to which like I'm convinced of it in the moment. It's kind of like, I don't know. You're so just being, I feel like, especially in like a contemporary position, like you're so trapped inside like this constant reactive skepticism to anything that is, contradicts or runs contrary to this like plane that like, you supposedly or, you feel that you live in or something that like, I don't know. It's like, I feel like that when watching the film, like there is in moments like brief glimpses of like what it is to believe in a miracle or to witness a true miracle, but that this is like something that is near impossible to hold on to after the film is over. Like right now for me to claim like, oh yeah, I totally feel really confident about the fact that, I've witnessed a miracle is like much more difficult than, I mean, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It depends on the day, man. Like when you're watching, I don't know. Do you know what I'm?
I know what you're saying.
Like, but I would say
miracles.
But the point being like, I don't know. I would say, yeah. I mean, I would say yes. That like the film, yeah. To watch the film is to watch the film and to be truly like moved by it, to like truly like come into contact with it in some sense is to
a faith-based.
Ooh, baby, do you know what that's worth? Who knew heaven is a place on earth?
And when I worked at Walgreens, that song played all the time.
This is why faith-based viewership is so important. And if you watch funny games and don't know that you are responsible, you are not a man of Christ. or woman of Christ.
So that's a great point by Troy. Moving
That
on.
is a great. Oh, come on, that is the point.
I'm just
Because
kidding.
I think your point is not about, or your final answer is not resting on. Well, part of it rests on the film itself, but more of it has to, like, more of the miracle witnessing as a viewer relies on your faith, right? Miracles don't occur in the absence of faith. So like a faith-based viewership in combination with like virtually the miracle of the medium itself, but
dude, the Troy funny games take here is, if I didn't believe that she could be resurrected, she just wouldn't have when watching the movie.
yeah, it's true. It's
It's
true.
true.
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah, but no, but like
If you don't have faith in the reality of funny
I-
games, then
I will say
you won't.
I
feel
will say
guilty.
something with the thing with funny games. The thing with funny games, I think that funny games is also like a commentary on the problem of how separate this dude, everyone's got to read Dialectic of Enlightenment, guys.
Here we
Like,
go.
this is like, dude, it's so good. But yeah, I mean, I think funny games is in many ways like it's like a commentary on the or it's dealing with the problem of like currently being in, you know, a world in which like of like universal fungibility, in which like, you know, things cannot both represent, like things cannot be truly representational of other things, and that to be representational of something, it's like always reducible to some kind of, you know, it is not the thing that it is representing, and it can't be the thing, and then there's some kind of universal that's like a fundamental rule that we live inside of or something. And that you know, funny games is like dealing with this problem of like, you know, like they're just characters, but like they're actually not characters, but, and like playing with the fact that like you, in some respect, we live inside a world that is set up this way, but that is not it is not actually all consuming, that like you don't experience the world in that way, as like these things, that these characters actually are not separable or reducible to the characters on the screen or something.
You know, Hanukkah
Yeah.
studied this
Sorry, go
book.
ahead.
He
started
studied
what book?
Dialectic of Enlightenment.
Really? Did you
No,
just
I
Google
just
that?
know it. Yeah.
You just know it?
No,
I bet I'm sure
telling you, he did. I know he's
you
at
know
least
it.
read this.
You
Yeah,
know
he's
this.
like a huge Adorno student.
Oh, okay, yeah. That makes a
Adorno is
lot of
referenced by
sense.
name in like
Okay,
3
this
different
is-
Hanukkah films, I think.
Okay, this is pretty cool, actually. I can't believe I haven't made this connection yet while reading, because it's like, it's actually so true that this is like what funny games is about. Like, this is kind of crazy.
So
Anyways, sorry. Back
So
to
we're all in
Jesus
We're all in
Christ.
agreement. Christ is risen.
We're all in agreement. Johannes is not Jesus.
Johannes
Hold
is
on.
It
Jesus.
would not have mattered.
It would
It
have
would have
mattered.
mattered.
It would not have mattered whether
matters.
or not
Totally
the miracle
matters.
happened, because the true miracle has already
No.
occurred.
There's the miracle of cinema,
Yeah.
and then there's the miracle you witness.
No. But you're witnessing a constant.
Oh yeah,
miracle.
it is. I'm 100% with you. You're witnessing a constant miracle. Although I think it's sort of more of a unrelated point to the miracle TM in the film. And then my comment earlier is, this is the last podcast, right? This is like, you're on, yeah. The whole thing of like what matters, what doesn't, right? Like
You're talking
everything
about-
everywhere all at once.
you're talking
Yeah.
about everywhere.
Like,
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
oh yeah,
no
you weren't
time
on the podcast.
at
Never
all.
mind. But we did this whole thing.
Yeah. I boycotted.
Yeah, you
it.
boycotted.
Let
Let the record show. No, this was a whole thing on the last one, because it's like, it's just like almost the paradox of being so, like, a film that is convincing, that is talking about how nothing matters, contradicts the fact that it is a film in which things matter, and that's why you even care about what they're saying and all this type of stuff. So like, yeah, like as soon as you're being sold on like the emotional reality and even like the significance of the film, right? You're being sold on a miracle of cinema. So it's fair and true, but I think it's a little more detached from the miracle itself. But I have seen miracles.
let's get to the real.
Whoa.
let's get to the heart. Let's get to the heart of this.
Let's get to the
of this movie,
Lacanian real.
truly. Let's get to
scared.
let's get to the heart of this movie truly. Okay, we keep talking about all these esoteric ideas. It's time to get personal. So name. So what is this movie trying to say about what it is that you should be doing?
Aspiring.
You need to be aspiring to faith of a childlike nature. Okay? We all agree with this take. Now, when was the last time you actually
We're
had
a baby. When was the last time you were a child?
when was the last time you actually had childlike faith towards something that you were
Last
doing,
night
some sort of
watching this
activity?
movie.
So
Unironically.
actually.
no, that is true. But let's take it outside of the realm of film.
Then there is no faith.
Okay.
I'm just
Holy
kidding. I'm
smokes.
just kidding.
Yeah,
Just a little joke
there
for
is
the
no faith.
audience.
theater tries, but it doesn't.
So
get
true.
there.
There is no beauty. There's no art.
According to Troy,
There's only film.
there was no art until the motion picture camera was
This is so
invented.
true.
There was no faith. God was created by cinema.
It's so true. When are we finally gonna come around to a pod just about the medium and its unique properties, divine properties?
We can't honestly. Okay, sorry. We're Brody
Well,
prompted.
wait, do you want us to respond? Can I respond,
You're
Brody?
getting Christ built.
Yeah.
I think we should be aspiring to the Johannes form of faith, which has childlike qualities, but is fundamentally not childlike.
Okay. Yes.
The child, right? It's not like every 4-year-old in a church is like the most base representation of faith on earth.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I mean, there's
Yeah.
there's definitely something extremely good about it, but I think Johannes is more the aspirational thing. But I think the film.
You read Kierkegaard. Of course, he knows more.
I think the film
I
is
think the
Hanukkah
faith,
style raping you into identifying with the bystanders
Mm-hmm.
because you cannot, like John was saying, like John was saying, like, I don't know, the fact that it's a film just automatically kind of puts you in that spot of like a half-hearted loser, and I think all the Christ cucks on planet Earth will never recover from this film.
Jacob.
I was just gonna say I don't know, but I feel like the faith that the film demands you aspire to may be corrupt.
Okay.
Of Johannes?
Wait, that you to aspire to. I feel like. Wait, you think that to be you don't believe in what's the I don't remember what the actual scripture is, but become like a child. This
No,
jazz. You're
I
not
feel
into that?
like I don't know. I just all this Kierkegaardian nonsense, it's
Okay, whatever.
basically
Forget.
a massive cope and fake and dumb.
Okay, forget Kierkegaard. Forget Kierkegaard. Explain what kind of faith that the film is positing and why it's corrupt.
I don't have any. I don't have a solid case because I'm not. I just don't. But
None
like
of us
something
do.
about Johannes's, like if he's what we are to aspire towards, right? Like his faith is kind of one of
Being crazy, being insane.
yeah. Well, I don't know all the stuff about. I don't know much about Kierkegaard, but about belief versus faith, and about like faith in like the possibility versus belief in like the actuality of some entity or like process that can exist or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that might be corrupt to some extent.
Take it up with Big
Okay.
K. Dr. K.
Okay.
So it's
I'm
like,
not. Look, we're not. Look, I'm.
I think
I'm not,
the only
I'm not
I think
subscribing
what's admirable
to
though.
Kierkegaard right now.
What's admirable is the unflinching faith and the kind of the the reform aspect of like calling everyone out for just being so milquetoast. That
milquetoast taste. Faith.
That's what's inspiring, and that's what's inspiring about faith in this movie is just kind of having that unflinching, like faith in the face of like tragedy and all that. But like I'm not too sure about the whole like, well, he's just it's faith, but like he doesn't actually believe that like there's God,
Yeah.
I don't. That's where I get off. That's where I get off.
I'm
the
on
train.
that train in terms of what the film thinks. In terms of real life, who knows? But I do like that the condemnation of milquetoast fools. Like I think this film is extremely pro Crusades and pro religious wars and violence. Stop being a half-hearted I believe what I believe and you believe what you believe. No, I'm gonna kill you and your family.
Go kill the people.
Kill your enemies.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill people who don't believe what I believe.
If I can read just a little bit, will I be allowed? It's fairly short.
Sure.
Okay.
What?
Let everything that's been planned come true. Let them believe, and let them have a laugh at their passions, because what they call passion actually is not some emotional energy, but just the friction between their souls and the outside world. And most important, let them believe in themselves. Let them be helpless like children, because weakness is a great thing, and strength is nothing. When a man is born, he is weak and flexible. When he dies, he is hard and insensitive. When a tree is growing, it's tender and pliant, but when it's dry and hard, it dies. Hardness and strength are death's companions. Pliancy and weakness are expressions of the freshness of being, because what has hardened will never win.
I genuinely believe that people operate most of their day-to-day life not actually believing that they are capable of doing something. Honest to God, I do believe this. I just like accomplishing tasks, accomplishing challenges, like lots of things. I actually think like my friends and including the people in this call and some other people that are part of this pod also have this divine ability. Like not to dox Steven, but he went and he was like, fuck this shit, I'm going to graduate school for a philosophy degree, right? That is fucking faith-pilled, okay? That is based. That is a task set out that he, like, amongst his challenges, actually pursues and believes that he can do, right? And yeah, I
manifest it, bro.
Yeah, and I genuinely believe that most people do not have this capacity.
Mashallah, through Christ, all things are possible.
Yeah.
I mean, capacity. I think capacity is. That sounds like they just literally.
I agree. A lot of
like
people
they
don't believe in
literally
themselves.
can't. You just mean people don't. You mean just people don't. People don't.
I mean,
People don't have the faith. I think everyone has the capacity, but
maybe saying that everyone has the capacity is pretty bloomer pilled. And I respect that, and I don't.
You think that most people don't even have the ability to believe that they can accomplish anything?
I'm
like, I don't even know what that means. Like,
so,
accomplish what?
Or I think faith in a world in which they can accomplish great things.
Yeah.
Great.
Like,
things.
or I think there's a ton of people.
I don't understand. I'm confused as to like what people aren't believing in, like what they're doing, because like you could. I mean, I'm seeing like there's some kind of you can choose any task to be this task. Like, is there some kind of limits on what this task is that is what is disqualifying people from not being able to think they can do it? Like, I'm just confused what the
if I
is.
may,
like,
and Brody, let me know if I go astray. I don't know. I'm not so sold on the big faith connection here, but I like the central point, which I think is like, I don't know. I just think a ton of people basically either latently or explicitly don't think that the world is a world in which they can do what they want to do, basically. Like, you can just imagine like a sort of classic works like the shittiest job ever, and like any hopes or aspirations of accomplishing some grand feat according to whatever they think that is, or like, improving their situation or doing yes and whatever, all this different stuff. They don't think that that's what life is like. They're like, that's not what, it's not like, that's not what how I am. It's like, that's not how the world is. I can't.
Yeah, this is the gospel of summer sales.
The gospel of summer sales.
I'm serious. Like, this is like, you can change your life by selling solar or whatever it is. And like,
I couldn't.
Great thing.
What does that
mean? Okay, yeah. Sorry, I agree about there being like a general.
Well, I mean,
like,
there's a reason why that works, though, right?
I mean, yeah. There's a reason. There's a reason why sales can prey on this in order to because it provides a world in which, where it can prey on this kind of general sentiment that is, I agree, is certainly there's a reason there's a market to exploit.
Yeah, and it's powerful, and it's something that like people like actually like really really do like want to believe, right? And they're like, I don't know, maybe they haven't been told this enough, they like we're not fed fucking enough, what's the
protein.
word, like protein. Like we're not fed enough
vitamin K.
Damn it.
That's good. Sorry. Not enough juice. Not enough
Pale King. Although Pale King is a little bit opposite of this, to be honest.
Not enough like explicit like hopeology. Like I think of like like people talking about like homeless people and stuff, and they're like, and they bring up valid points. It's like it is like happens to be like part of their circumstance and all this sort of shit, and all of this is true. But then if in order to get them out of that, they're like, we need to give them programs, we need to give them resources, and we do. But do we know to give them more of? The based epic thing that we need to give them is fucking hope pills, bro. Like big time, bro, you can do this shit. Like you can actually achieve something great and beyond yourself.
Almost crisis.
This is
solved.
so true. I'm with you, Brody. I'm with you.
Class distinctions,
dude. Fuck John.
Leveled.
This is John.
No.
Brody's
Brody's
no.
point just needs to be
hold on,
paired
hold
with
on.
Pale King, and then everyone's happy.
Okay.
I need.
Oh, no.
Yeah. No, I think. Okay.
Because that's where you're headed.
I don't actually know what that
There's
means.
a 100% reason why like if you see someone fucking rolling up out of a fucking AA meeting, you know what I mean, right? There's some motherfucker just got off drugs for the first time in fucking 25 years, and they're like, yeah, dude, sorry, I can't make it to brunch. I got church to go to, right? They're all fucking Christ pilled, okay? Like they got fed something that they hadn't been fed before. Right, like something hopeful.
Interestingly,
This is hold on.
You can't do it. Unironically,
I was gonna say. So you bring up a good point with the AA thing. I think AA is in some ways the exact same thing as summer sales, in respects to it being like an ideological antidote to the symptoms that you're talking about. I think the symptoms are real. I of course, I'm not a cynic, like in general, as far as like, I do think that like the proliferation of just kind of like a doomer mindset is certainly a problem. But I think that even the doomer mindset is a symptom of like larger conditions that have like, grown over the past whoever knows how many years to the point we are right now. And I don't think hope is I think hope or whatever is
faith.
Definitely
faith.
No, I don't think AA is
totally
faith. Like, okay, it is faith, but it's like, it's not. I don't know. We've just expanded. Brody has opened the conversation to expanding the definition of faith into just believing.
No, Brody has
anything.
expanded.
I feel
No.
like
All
in some
Brody
regard-
expanded was my mind.
No, because no. Wait, how so? Because you literally just expanded into believing you could do
Yeah, I think-
something.
well-
like
Well, not that you could do something. It's that like you can achieve something like great. It's something. I'm gonna say it. Somebody don't stop me.
What? Stop.
Akin to God.
something what?
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Akin
Oh.
Something what?
Akin to God.
Ooh.
Oh.
Blasphemy alert. Blasphemy alert. I think. Well, the whole AA point. The AA point I'm making is like, AA is saying, listen, you are not Johannes. You've tried to build your house and you can't. You need to move into a house.
Yeah. So
You need to move into a
Yeah.
pre-built where it has like property management
House
in
made by
place
man.
and like, on-site plumbers and stuff like that. And then only within that house can you do something. You need to subject yourself to someone else's home. And so I think
Yeah.
with Brody, it's like you can, right? Or I mean, yeah, I think the doom pill is cuz like everyone thinks they can build their own home and they can't. And they're just all fucked up. Anyway, but yeah, I mean,
What?
I'm just saying AA.
Wait, why don't
I think
Wait, sorry,
Brody's
what's-
point is
sorry,
literally
describe-
the AA point, which is literally Christ pill point of like through Christ all things are possible. This is the Kierkegaardian thing too. It's like you can do anything through faith.
I think AA is I think
It totally is. It's
I'm not convinced that AA is the same thing or equivalent to like
they explicitly say to forego your own will.
no, I understand, but I think that this is like almost oh my what on
That is
earth?
going to be in the anyway.
Okay. I don't know.
Don't leave the pod, John.
I'm confused. No, I'm not gonna leave the pod. I'm just confused. I'm confused as to like what it is we're even like I don't know. There's brought up this whole concern about like we're now like doing some kind of prescriptive task of like what is like gonna solve some kind of problem, and that this thing is faith that is gonna solve it. But I don't like faith in what? I don't even think that
Faith in yourself.
This is okay. Summer sales solved. Like I don't know. I don't think that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is that there's a disconnect between like what there's some kind of wishy-washiness with what we're calling like faith and faith in yourself to achieve something great. Great by what
Your own.
standard? Okay, great by your own standard. Okay, create your own meeting. I'm gonna go scam a bunch of people with pest control and make so much money for me and my family. Like, I don't think there's like there's a slipperiness with like this like I having faith to achieve something great versus like what we're talking about specifically in Ordet, where it's like the faith is directly tied to some kind of faith in like beauty or art or I mean like I don't know, just purely by the nature of the film in general, and the themes and such. There's something more specific being tied to what the viewer is then experiencing or invited to have faith in. That is like I think that like that is not, you can't just extract that and apply it to like necessarily like faith in yourself as an antidote to things like being like shitty or something.
This is exactly what Crime and Punishment's
Yeah,
about.
on the record, I'm not aligned with faith in yourself.
There we go. I have a literary reference, so now we're all
So
tied.
true, so true.
So now we're all tied.
Yeah, quick,
You're keeping tally for
not to totally veer off, but Elsmore, as the local crusader, do you think that Dreyer should be put to death for blasphemy for writing like the film contains a character claiming to be Jesus Christ and speaks words that are largely biblical references, but some are not. And so is Dreyer committing blasphemy by creating words of Christ?
That's something that's something that sussed me out. Well, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
I just pressed a button on my mic. I don't know what it did though.
So,
Hopefully it didn't do anything bad.
Because that was something I was a little worried about.
So anyway, I was also sussed out about that. The fact that this person, we are at least being led to believe that it could be possible that he is Jesus, right? And he's like saying stuff with the authority in persona Christi,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where he's kind of making shit up and like ascribing sayings and stuff to Christ. And that might be, that could be kind of problematic.
Yeah.
Right? But at the same time, I'd say the only problematic part of it is insinuating that it has Christ's seal of approval, right? Which is no different than like basically any sort of sermon or something, right? Where you're basically saying like, yeah, this thing that I'm saying, like this is like what Christ taught. This has Christ's seal of approval.
I think
so. It's only slightly worse.
I think there's a little bit of that going on. It's not as blasphemous as like Bruce Almighty, Evan Almighty. God wouldn't say that. And also just a quick shout out to when Bergman showed asterisk, and it was a spider that raped a woman. That was crazy.
Bergman shows God in Danny and Alexander.
Oh yeah, that is so base though, and that is cool, but it doesn't pretend. It's not like in this movie where it is the words of God or Christ. But Fane Alexander.
Yeah, it's the word.
What do you want to prove that I exist? Yeah, but it was just that sneaky Jewish man. But I'm talking about Through Glass Darkly, where God is a spider that rapes the woman.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
But she's also schizophrenic.
Yeah, so it's like, oh. But I think that could probably be a good actually thing to think about with this film too.
Have we talked about Through Glass Darkly? That would be I'd be down to do Through Glass.
We got to wrap this up, but when are we gonna do Sacrifice, the actual best film ever made?
I recently watched The Sacrifice again.
I would like to publicly retract my statement Faith in Yourself.
Nice.
I am
instead gonna promote Faith in a golden bowl.
Yeah.
faith in a golden calf.
Yeah, golden calf.
My friend has this statue of a cow,
and he worships it.
I believe
and he
in
sacrifices
that.
children.
I believe in that thing.
I am going to substitute it with something even more vague, and I'm going to be corrupt right now. Which is faith in like, I don't know, higher value or something like this, like in like ultimate
phallic authority.
Yeah.
You just say cinema.
I'll like faith in God.
Yeah,
right. I'll say faith.
God is the only vague generality.
Yeah, I'll say
not gonna run you into.
You can say God.
I'll say faith in God. I'll say faith in God because nobody knows what the fuck that means.
Well, Steven will hop in and be like, "Oh, you mean faith in the big other?"
Right.
Master signifier.
Yeah. Oh, faith in the master signifier. Turns out the master signifier. New report just came out. They found out that the master signifier is actually just the word "the."
Can I just hop in with an observation?
Yes.
Okay, observe away.
It was already, the station of man was already so pitiful and fallen, right? How could you ever hope to describe divinity or, ascertain, some sort of divine qualities and then be able to describe it But now more than ever, in current year, where our speech has been like so fucking fucked up, right? We all sound retarded.
Yeah.
Like, and can't talk about anything coherently without injecting like a ton of qualifiers / like memes, and it's just kind of sad because I mean,
Speak for yourself.
Well, this was the whole.
it's just kind of sad.
Speak for yourself.
Think about
Jack.
this is why, and this is hold on.
You sound like such a libtarder now.
Hold on.
Sorry.
This is why we need our house to be built for us, right? Is especially, language. It's kind of the most important thing, representation. And and we just have lost so much of that ability to describe and represent. And people are, we need to there needs to be strong house. We have weak house.
So true. This is why I'm going to raise my kids on a ranch. Because unironically, or you're so right. We're so like fucked up. I mean, we bit off more of the fruit than we could bear. Like, in a way, I feel like it's comically, well, the way it turns out is pretty comical. But like Kierkegaard's whole mission is like, all right, we've gotten so fucked up by knowing all the quote unquote rules that it's become like so unreasonable to like, how can we play the game to its end, the word game to its end, so as to like circle back and horseshoe on I believe in God or I have faith or whatever it is. And it's like ultimately it's like still like you can't do it in a way. Like you have to take that leap, so to say. But this is so true.
Let me just say the house I'm building is coming along just fine. It's coming along just
I live
fine.
in the house.
We just hired a landscaper.
Is he Jesus?
He's
Jesus the landscaper?
No. He's I was trying to think of something funny. I was gonna say is like some like online political figure is like my landscaper, and then somebody else is building the foundation.
You guys saw my house
burn
down in the end of
But no, I do think yeah. I mean, look, I want to say, look, there's a little bit of a coded return message going on right now in what everyone's saying. And I think that this is I don't think diagnosing the problem of where we are at now necessarily. I think that return is actually a retreat into something that is impossible, as opposed to like a real look at like, you can agree. I can agree with the unsatisfactory like nature of the conditions, but I don't think that the way forward has to be just that, a way forward. It has to be something that is I don't know.
This guy's been reading his
response
dialectic.
alert.
This guy's been reading his dialectic. I could tell he's been reading his dialectic.
Pendulum swings.
Okay.
He did his homework.
Pendulum.
Shit.
I agree, but it's just like I'm just lamenting the fact that we're so ill-equipped to like talk about what we want to talk about.
No. Okay, yeah. I will say yeah. No. I mean, I'm super down with that sentiment. It really is. I do really become pretty aggravated with myself when describing a point. I think the less time I've spent, particularly just like online or just like browsing in general, like the more I feel less like limited in like my ability just to express like just how I'm feeling, because there isn't like a constant like need to like reference something. I feel
a greater capacity to think since I've exited my browsing era.
I'm with Jacob. You can't get a fucking word in edgewise unless you've read dialectic of the whatever.
So yeah, I did use the term era partially as meme, right? But my sentiment was real.
Well, exactly, but you still don't escape the cage of the like ironic expression.
This is true. I have been corrupted from pre-browsing.
I'm pure and good. Nothing's wrong with me.
Nothing's wrong with me. I speak perfectly. I say what I mean, and everyone understands.
This is accurate.
Yeah.
This is accurate. Amen.
Amen. All right. Are we good to wrap?
Okay.
Inger will be raised.
Amen.
All right.
Okay. Good pod, everyone.
Woo!
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining the Witching Hour, where we talk about spooky, scary
All right.
things that go bump in the
John,
night.
you're up.
Oh yeah, we gotta. Oh, I forgot. We gotta do that. I was thinking we were saying bye right now. Okay, so this movie is awesome. I can't wait to watch it again. Dryer strikes again. I can't wait to watch more Dryer. This film.
Dryer strikes back.
I mean, yeah, this film is obviously incredibly powerful. And is just so many like small subtleties that, like, I don't know, just really complicated real characters that all represent like legitimate points of view, or things to actually like think about. Like there's like something to contend with every character, and every character then contends with each other, which like results in something that I think that on repeat watches will continue to supply be a source for an eternal problem. This movie, I cried, I was moved. I'll watch it again. I think that this is a 4.3 out of 5.
I was moved. I felt it. I don't know, like it's definitely something, and it's definitely worth quite a lot. I just feel like there's so many other movies that have done me greater, did me in harder, made me think bigger,
Opened my door.
opened all of my chakras, but 3.5.
Don't be too upset about that waterlogged laundry, because Dryer is setting his setting to heavy load. Heavy load, high temperature. Dryer's going to dry that clothing of yours. Super based movie about the true possibility of miracles and the real presence of faith in our everyday lives. Okay? And first time I watched this, it was a insane experience. I, of course, like the others, was moved heavily, and I think it did shift my perspective a little bit on faith and about, just how people talk about Christianity and religion in general, like in our contemporary world, where a lot of people, they talk big talk. They talk a lot of game about Christ and about, praying and about miracles. But then when the rubber hits the road, do they really believe? Or are they just saying that, right? Do they think that Christ is dead? Or do they believe that he's alive? And this movie made me want to believe so strongly that Christ is alive. He is working in your everyday life. And if you believe and if you pray, he's going to deliver the goods. And that's beautiful. I rate this a 4.9 out of 5.
Whoa.
Nice.
Nice.
This movie rules. I like it a lot. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think it's like really it's not quite listen, I don't know what to say. I really like this movie. And it is, listen, the movie's great, made me cry. And it's after being a desperate viewer for so long, it's not every day that you happen across some God movie that actually gets your almonds knocking and gets your noggin jogging. So that is pretty awesome. But for various reasons, this isn't getting the score you might think. I'm giving it a 3.99. It's so close to being a must-watch, but I think I can't in good...
But it's skippable ultimately.
Huh?
It's skippable ultimately.
Well, if the sacrifice... I'll tell you
filler.
what, if it's... Well, look, we don't need to get into what these scores represent. You know, is it truly recommendation? It's really just a metric of my own, abstract thing. I got to keep it real and give it a 3.9. I mean, in some level, from a 3.99. From a recommendation perspective, I wouldn't recommend it because I'd recommend the sacrifice in its place. But if you're if you're trying to really understand film, then of course you have to see it so that you can.
Why do they have to be? Why are they like fungible in any way? Why can you place one with?
Well, obviously you
Lord,
can't,
we
but
are
I'm
not
having
talking about
fun with my
scores.
language.
I know, but you all.
What, you think I really mean it?
No, yes, because you say this all the time are like this movie, like there's just this other version of it that's better. They're always extremely different movies that make a similar point, and so you think that
No,
like,
they're obviously
ultimately one is the better.
they're
film
not.
and
They're not.
is
Okay, well,
valued
Sacrifice
higher.
is obviously the better film. The two films aren't fungible at all. I mean, like, Sacrifice doesn't. I mean, Sacrifice brings into question miracles and whatnot, but way more subtly, and I think it's covering a different type of territory. But it's more that, if someone was like, hey, I'm interested in this type of thing, and I've heard Ordet is like it, and maybe Sacrifice is like it, what should I watch? It's like, oh, Sacrifice. But you should watch both. You should watch every movie that's ever been made. I want a quick shout out. Yesterday, I watched Red Dragon, American Hustle. Fuck.
Toy
Not
Story.
Toy Story. Oh, Charlie Wilson's War. Red Dragon should be illegal to make. I don't know if you guys know that movie. It's like the sequel, prequel to what's the Hannibal Lecter, the big one, the Silence of the Lambs. It's the prequel, but happened after to Silence of the Lambs. Anyway, it's like basically evil. But anyway, you should watch all the movies. I'm giving it a 3.99. I have seen
All
miracles.
right.
I have seen miracles.
Thank you for joining us,
and
everyone.
just a quick
If
shout
you've
out.
made it this far,
Quick shout out to
we're praying for you.
and just a quick shout out to our sponsor this week, which is you,
Raid Shadow Legend.
which is you, the
Raid
audience.
Shadow Legends.
Our sponsor this week.
Dragons have invaded Dave and Buster.
Our sponsor this week is you, the audience. Thank you
You,
so much
the
for
audience.
thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon. It does so much for us.
It does exist.
Well, we've got something good for you guys coming. We know exactly what you want, actually. And listen,
That's
I
right.
can formally announce.
That's right.
I can formally announce an upcoming video that is a scene-by-scene discussion of Murmur of the Heart, and the video length will be exactly equal to the film length, and the film and the movie, the video title will be Murmur of the Heart full film discussion.
Free.
Full film, space,
Yeah,
space,
free.
space.
That's
So
a
it
good
goes on the
idea.
next line.
And I don't know if any of you
Free.
guys want to join me on that quest. I'm legit planning on doing it myself. But if you don't,
Are you serious?
dude,
You can't upload that to YouTube.
yeah, I can. I've already done it. What are you talking about? It's fair use, and I already did it with.
You have to censor it.
No, you don't. What are you talking about?
Because of nudity.
No, you can. No, if it's art, it's fine. Look up nudity art right now.
serious?
Look
YouTube?
up on
Yeah,
art.
you
Oh
can
my gosh, yeah.
Look up nude yoga.
On
Yeah,
you-
go on
on
YouTube, look
YouTube?
up nude
Look up
yoga
nude yo-
or nude
yoga.
nude
you
art.
Will just yeah,
There's
you will
endless
just straight up
titties.
see nudity.
Dude, there's
Yeah.
there's vaginal examinations on
Whoa.
YouTube where you can get like 4K 4 inches away from the coochie for like an hour.
I had no idea.
If it's medical / educational
Oh
or
my
art,
gosh, this
it's
is
fine.
crazy.
Anyway, so we're gonna do that, and we know that's what you want, and you're gonna
Yeah.
help us get our monetize. We're gonna monetize, baby.
And also, if you want to subscribe to our Patreon, John has been very helpful, and he's collected you can now buy a physical picture book, all with close-up shots of our cocks. We will sign each page with our cocks on it.
Cock prints.
And that's for you guys.
Yeah, they're all to scale.
Yeah.
We had to do like 15. We had to print the books like 15 times until they were all
Yeah.
right
Guinness
size.
Book
Some
World
of
Record
them-
should do that.
Some of them are. There will be several to a page, and others are a 2-page spread.
Yeah.
You know, Guinness World Records, how they have those like pictures in the books are like to scale. You know, they
Yeah.
should just do that. Normal book you read, and then it's like a huge cock.
I feel like every photo I ever see should be to scale.
Dude, I've been actually okay. We won't continue for too long, but I've been
Like,
thinking about this,
if
making
it-
a film. I don't know. Okay, so there's like all this.
That's to scale.
Yeah. So there's all this stuff about okay, this is like cringe, but like racing simulators, like there's a lot of
Yeah.
like math when you're setting up a rig so that like your perspective. So like you mess around with the field of view and all this stuff so that it looks as if you're looking through a window into the car. You know what I mean? So that it
This-
makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, doing that with a film, but like so like
This is why wide shots cannot be appreciated unless you are in a movie theater.
or in a good home theater. Movie theaters are so fake, dude. Holy shit. I am
We need to have a
on what do they
movie
call it?
theater
What do they
podcast
call it?
In which we need to have a movie theater podcast in which we all say we're going to show up and then it's just Troy.
Listen, call me Mujahideen because I am on a holy war against movie theaters.
We should record a podcast
Against
inside
the
of a
history
movie theater
against
while
the
movie's
history
playing.
of the whatever.
Listen.
I'm down for that
Anyway,
one, Brody.
wait, what'd
Yeah,
you say,
like that
bro?
one?
History of film?
Yeah.
Recording a podcast inside of a movie theater while the movie.
That'd be good. You could probably do it. You could easily find a theater with no one's in it.
Yeah.
Anyway, a movie where like you have to specify the distance the viewer is to sit from the screen, or really it's an angle situation. It's like you can just input the size of your screen, how far you are, and like whatever. Anyway, and then the whole film would be like to scale, you know? Like it would look as if you're looking through a window at something.
I like the idea.
This is
that
when
I like the idea.
Why not just, VR?
I like the idea that everything is on the screen.
VR movie.
Like necessarily has to be smaller than the TV itself. Therefore, everything that you're looking at, if you see a banana on it, it is in fact the exact same size as banana.
The whole movie,
Right.
yeah. Then you could
The
actually
whole-
film Toy
and-
Story because you couldn't have a person in the movie because they're bigger than your TV.
Exactly. Well, you can see their feet.
Anyway, this is a really good idea, I think.
This is when I admit to watching the past like 10 or so movies that I've watched by myself. I've watched on my laptop.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm leaving.
Hell yeah.
Who knew it would be me?
I am deleting
knew-
Troy. I'm
Who
deleting
knew
John's
that
recording
placing
of
the
podcast.
laptop screen at the correct orientation while lying on your back is actually more comfortable than whatever I was doing with my desktop screen?
John,
Actually, I'm just
John,
joking. I bet John
do
said it
not
was good.
Send the editor your file of the recording because it
What
will be
about my-
deleted.
It'll be deleted.
Yeah.
I actually
That'd
pity
be pretty
dude.
funny if just one person's audio.
Doing Jacob's audio is actually gonna suck so bad unless you kind of phone it in,
You just
which
use
I would
the
do.
AI.
Which
No,
I would do
I've-
100.
Use
I've been-
AI
I've been-
cleanup tech.
I've been checking up on my audio, and there are no like weird noises
Okay.
besides my roommates.
Besides
making
some
noise.
freak talking into it.
Okay.
Jacob's leaving the pod. All right, we're done.
All right, bye.
Bye
everyone.
bye.
Okay, yeah,
Bye.
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 Go home and witness a miracle.